Welcome back. You're watching Startup Central with me, Nayantara Rai, working from home. Now, because of coronavirus, what you've also started seeing is direct-to-consumer as a trend really pick up pace. What you also started seeing is all of us back home taking care of our skin, wellness, health, all of that. And our next guest is in the beauty business. It's a pure vegan brand, goes by the name of Plum. Very well known. In fact, it has just got a check of 110 crore rupees from a clutch of investors, including Ferring Capital and Unilever. Joining me, Shankar Prasad, founder and CEO at Plum. Thanks a lot, Shankar, for joining us live right here on Startup Central. Congratulations on the big fundraise. Marquee investors and those that are double downing on you. This is not the first check, for example, that you're getting from Unilever Ventures. First, tell me, how have you pivoted or innovated during the lockdown? All of us are now far more conscious about our skin. We have more time. We've been flooded with all of these do-it-yourself products as well.
Right. Firstly, thanks for having me here, Nayantara. Pleasure. For us, vegan and clean beauty has been part of our DNA ever since we started. So we started way back in 2014. And what has happened during the lockdown is people's awareness or also inquisitiveness about what we do and about the best way to care for themselves overall has increased. So what we have done is two or three things. Firstly, we had to really innovate to fix our supply chain in the real sense of the term. It was difficult to get anything done especially during the first 2 or 3 months. But after that, what we've done is also increased a lot of awareness generation, education, engaging people with skincare and ingredients online, in the online channels, which is where a lot of people are currently spending their time in. So what we have done is really told people a lot more about what we do, how our products work, and what's the best way for them to take care of themselves, their skin, hair, and body.
Okay, I understand that you're targeting revenues of 200 crore rupees next year. You're already serving 2.5 lakh customers. You claim to be fully vegan. How do you ensure that is indeed the case? Because, when someone hears vegan, I'm going to be really honest with you, the belief is there will be no preservatives, it's going to be fully natural. Is that the case? And then how will you scale up and maintain quality?
Just to set the record straight on vegan, because it can get confusing. I hear you between natural, organic, vegan, herbal. It's a little confusing. But just to set the record straight on vegan simply means that we do not use animal-derived ingredients in our product. It does not mean that it is free of all chemicals. Take that forward. It's difficult to be free of chemicals completely for any brand. It's very, very tough in the skincare space to put stuff in a jar or a bottle or a tube and give things to people which are 100% free of chemicals. Point number one. Point number two is not all chemicals are harmful. So there is this whole thing that natural versus chemicals. A lot of things that occur in nature are also chemicals. So the way to think about clean beauty is to really think about the science behind what is being talked about, rather than a broad classification as vegan or natural and therefore is equal to safe. I think that inference is often incorrect. For us, therefore, it's about using good science, as we call it, in combination with what nature has to offer to find solutions to people's everyday needs and problems. So that's how broadly I would classify as doing. And therefore, the scalability in what we're doing is not restricted to a niche of a certain category or a certain type of product we can make. We can make pretty much everything vegan today. You don't need animal-derived chemicals in your product, but you do use quote-unquote chemicals, but those are, done the right way and in the safest possible way.
Right. I wanted to get that out of the way because, a lot of people get confused by this. For me, vegan has always been vegetarian and no dairy. That's the way I've always described vegan. But, Shankar, I also want to understand from you, you got this check of 110 crore rupees. What do you plan to do with it? Are you entering more cities? Is it for a bigger portfolio? And what does having Unilever Ventures on board mean? Do we see synergies with their distribution network? What exactly happens with Unilever?
Sure. So I'll answer the latter part of the question first, because that's easier also. Unilever Ventures has been with us for the last couple of years. Their first Series A check came almost exactly 2 years back. In Unilever Ventures, we have a pure financial investor, so there is no operational involvement of Unilever in the business. They're a pure financial investor. But they do bring to the table an understanding of the consumer, of brands, how they are built. And because they're international investors also, Unilever Ventures is pretty prolific outside of India. So we are able to get access to best practices on how brands are being built elsewhere in the world and not just in India. So that's a very, very useful perspective to have. Now, on the first part of the question, which is the utilization of the funds that we've raised, it's essentially around 3 dimensions. Number one is product and technology, which we are very passionate about. So I think we still have a long way to go with our product. The second is customer engagement. That, again, as I mentioned in the beginning, is going to be largely driven by online, but also about more traditional channels coming in terms of educating people about what beauty is and what kind of ingredients they can use. And lastly, about distribution, as you mentioned. We are currently present in over 220 cities, but India is a very large country and our current distribution footprint is a fraction of where we can be. So that's where a lot of the capital is going to get used up in addition to pushing our online presence.
Are you going to come out with new lines, new products? Is that something that we're going to see?
Yes. So we, as we speak, we are working on a bunch of exciting products. We just launched our body care range called Body Lovin' during the lockdown. It's a lockdown baby, as they say. That's doing pretty well, and we're really interested in what else we can do in body care. Hair care is relatively small for us, and that's something that we are very keen to get going on. People have been asking us to do color cosmetics for a very long time. We are ourselves not yet sure as to how we marry our values with the kind of efficacy that people want in color cosmetics. So hopefully, when we find that answer, we will have something going there, in addition to strengthening our core skincare range itself. So that's, it's along a lot of dimensions, as we can see.
So with that, Shankar, we're completely out of time. So I'm going to wrap up this conversation. Thank you so much for joining us on this edition of the Startup Central. Here's wishing you all the very best.
Thank you very much.
With that, we're completely out of time. Many thanks for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you same time tomorrow, 6 p.m. right here on ET Now.